Diving for Glory 28.
Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving in glory.
Сейчас был Грик, нужно бить поворотом, удар. Господи, что происходит? 79-я минута матча. Уилл Грик забивает 7-й мяч в этом розыгрыше Кубка Англии. Уилл Грик on fire. Your defense is terrified. Помните эту песню?
It's so bad, man. God damn it, man. Welcome back to Diving for Glory.
Yes.
Podcast that looks at football as an obsession. Only we are going to bring you the Russian commentator singing Will Griggs is on fire. I am your host, Pep Corsiola. Such an up and down week, man. I keep wishing Wakanda was real, the White House wasn't, and that Wigan was a figment of my imagination. But I am happy that Messi is the real deal. Sir Solomon, what up?
Uganda.
Yay. Yay. This week, there's much to cover from Jekyll and Hyde, Chelsea, and Man United to Champions League, Europa, and Big Five League action. And let's not forget, man, Will Griggs on fire because of
Your defense is terrifying.
typical City, man. And as always, the prestigious and egregious D4G Awards section. Don't forget, Diving for Glory posts every Tuesday on iTunes and divingforglory.com. And now you can also find us on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Diving for Glory and Facebook as well. Follow it, hashtag it, do whatever, man. Hit us up. All right, man. That's a wrap. Adjust the boots. Jersey tuck. Fix your cup. Diving for Glory. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to rewind a little bit to early last week, man, on a lovely Tuesday afternoon in North London. Tuesday evening. In Chelsea.
A rainy Tuesday in Stoke.
No. It was a lovely day at Chelsea, man. A 1-1 draw with Barcelona. Marquee matchup, man. Let's talk about it.
The Antonio Conte set up with his 3-4-2-1, with Hazard playing like a false nine, and they just kept the game really compact with harassment coming from the top three of Hazard, Pedro and Willian. That was the idea. The two of them played well. Pedro not so much, but they were bent on limiting Barca's clear opportunities, which is the approach usually teams take to try to stop Barca. And the idea was to not let them have the away goal, and that didn't work out, but it looked really good. It was a fun game. They had Willian balling the fuck out.
So, I mean, Barcelona was lucky to go into the half at at 1-1. Or, I mean, at 0-0. They were lucky, man. Like, it could have been 2-0 easily. Willian hit the woodwork twice.
Yes, Willian, who is in some of the richest form of his career, hits the ball, the post, both posts, not the post just twice, but like on different sides, and they both had Ter Stegen beat easily.
Yeah.
The movement he was making that day, his eye for goal, his concentration level, like Willian was really, really balling out.
Yeah, man. Typical, what you categorize as a typical Barcelona-Chelsea matchup. Barcelona owning possession 76%, but still not getting as many shots off as you would like. And, I mean, Chelsea was hella effective, man. And I was wondering what you thought about the decision to not start Morata or Giroud, or hell, anybody, any striker. Do you like the false nine idea?
Definitely played a striker. I think they could have got more out of this game, because even though Willian balled out, Hazard, he did his thing sometimes, but he wasn't that involved in the game, and he plays really well when there's a false nine. I mean, when there's an actual nine as opposed to him being the false nine. Mm-hmm. As we'll see in a later game, but so I think they could have done that. And as far as Barca being limited, and the Paulinho, putting him on to play so that you're defensively solid. First of all, he's looking exposed more and more as a player, because like the offense kind of stalls around him. So they need to work that out soon.
Yeah, I didn't think him or Rakitic turned in much of a performance.
Rakitic didn't have the best game. His game was meh.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they have Rakitic doing so much and covering partially for Paulinho also, that his game isn't there to look good. He's just doing a lot of grimy cleanup stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of gets a pass on it for me. But Paulinho, once those tap-ins that he was getting early in the season kind of dried up, he's a negative. So they might have to change away from the 4-4-2 soon if he doesn't step up.
Yeah, I think that's the eventual plan. I think, with you talk about Dembele and Coutinho looking impressive over the weekend. Get to that later.
Coutinho's cup bad in the Champions League.
I know. And Dembele, that's my point, though. I'm saying going forward, you're saying that it's going to change.
It might go to a 4-3-3 with Dembele up front with Messi and Suarez, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Sounds devastating. But anyway, halfway through the game, we're 0-0. Get the 62nd minute, Willian finally hits pay dirt. With a wicked low shot.
Yes, indeed. Ter Stegen, there was traffic in front of him. He saw it kind of late. Should have still done better with it, but it was a really good shot, and Willian was nothing less than he deserved on the day.
So Barcelona responded, though. Barcelona looked a little bit more threatening after that, a little bit more motivated. But it still took I don't know what you want to call it, a moment where it was just a crazy missed tackle by Azpilicueta that let Messi in.
The missed tackle was the last of the fuck-ups. Before, the pass that Christensen made across the defense was a stray. And Azpilicueta fucked up on trying to clear it so it doesn't get to Iniesta. But not Christensen. Is it?
It was Christensen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was his second time. Earlier in the game, if you remember, he kicked it out for a corner when nobody was even pressuring him. He's good, and I like the Christensen-Rudiger defensive partnership going forward.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Rudiger, by the way. Messi dropped you in the middle of the field just because he can with a turn of speed.
Man, I just if I was I'd have red carded Iniesta. I'd have been out the game, but he wasn't going to get that shit through. It looked like the moment. As soon as he missed it, it was like, ooh. You knew it was about to happen.
Yeah, heroes on the couch. Son, what are you going to do? The moment comes, sometimes you miss that tackle. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. Yeah. You don't know. He just missed it. So it's a goal now.
For sure, man. So the game
is moving at 100 miles an hour, boy.
Oh, I already know. I know. Barcelona, though, much better in the second half, but you have to say they're lucky to walk away with this 1-1.
I wouldn't go as far as to say lucky. I think that it was definitely a missed opportunity by Chelsea. What's his name? Willian should have had his goals. They didn't. The post is part of the playing field, so they didn't go in. And as a whole, the Chelsea performance, though it was good, even if they had scored the 3, letting that away goal happen, I can't sit there and say it was a good performance. Away goals are very important, and that clean sheet would have determined what it was, and they really missed an opportunity. They're kind of trailing going into the second leg after that performance.
Oh, for sure. But I don't think that doesn't mean Barcelona weren't lucky, because they definitely were. Definitely could have been a 3-1, man. Should have been damn near. But it wasn't.
Like we watched with one of them, could have been, should have been, okay.
Hey, yeah, I know.
Manchester won yesterday. Morata hit the crossbar. Should have been a tie. Okay.
They're lucky.
We can talk about that. There we go.
Luck exists in soccer. And in my opinion, man, Barcelona came away. In good position. Return leg, March 14th in Barcelona. Barcelona, crucial away goal. Player of the match.
Willian.
Oh, the lucky guy. The unlucky guy. 6 of 8 dribbles completed. That was the most impressive stat to me.
Mine was the 4 key passes he had made that his teammates were not finishing for him. That was very impressive. In addition to having 4 shots, out of which only 1 completely missed the goal, the rest either hit the post or were in the back of the net. And he created 4 chances for his teammates.
Yeah, he's a baller.
The dribble, it shows you how much he's doing, but depending on where it is, it might not be as effective. But he gave these guys chance. I like it.
No doubt. All right, we're going to move on. Next game.
Let me ask you a question before we move on. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah.
Why is it that every season Willian has like 2 months where he's like amazing, and the rest of the season he's like, eh?
I was kind of wondering why he wasn't playing regularly this year. He played a lot last year and he played well, but
even then, like, he had a part of last season that he was spectacular on, and that carried him through the part of last season when he was kind of shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he's never consistently
awesome and
just
amazing.
not even awesome or amazing, like just putting in consistent performances, like sevens.
Yeah.
Like, he's either like spectacular or he was shit that day.
And he's been on fire.
Yeah, he's been lit lately.
And so he took that momentum and took it to Manchester, where Chelsea was hosted by United. And this match they ended up definitely on the wrong end. 2-1 Man United.
After again taking a lead in a big game through a Willian goal, this is a week where he should be very angry at the Chelsea setup for who the fuck scores against against the Manchester United and Barcelona in the same week, puts the team in a winning position twice and doesn't gets a draw out of it and a loss.
Yeah, this was tough. Chelsea definitely looked the more attacking team.
Yeah, they were the more possessing team.
Yeah. What I found fascinating about that is they had the most possession. They had more shots, and with almost 60% possession, man, their average match position was not where you would think it would be, considering a match like that. You would think that most of their players were still behind the.
Yeah, they were not. There were a lot of horizontal and negative passes.
Mm-hmm.
Their passing was 86%, Manchester 81%, but it was more because they didn't play Fabregas. So their midfield of Drinkwater, Alonso, Kante, and Moses is basically a 4-man defense in front of a 3-man defense.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of the game, you're not gonna get like key passes or stuff that creates expected goals from these guys. They're workers, and that when Willian and Hazard had the game. Morata, once he hit that crossbar, he kind of turned off. So United, one thing that I noticed, I don't know if you saw this, but like you can check attack directions. And United hit them up off that left side 50% of the time. Like Chelsea's in response on their right, they were did 40% of their attacks, but that's because that's where the game was being played. Whenever Pogba gets the ball, if you look at him, he drifts left towards where Martial is, and the play starts over that direction. Which is also, by the way, why Alexis Sanchez had a pretty shit game. Like, he was kind of isolated a lot of the time.
Also, too, and I was surprised to see the stats, what the scores were for him. But I didn't feel like he passed the eye test.
Yeah, he's like Ox though. Like, you shoot, you cross, even if they're not hitting the targets, like they account for points. So like you could,
Yep.
And he ran a lot. They like effort guys.
Well, Hazard and Willian were amazing again.
Yep. That partnership as a 1-2 is looking. I don't know. I think maybe we might need Giroud up there because Giroud is a good passer, and the two of them running off of him might be something. Because
what's the possibility that Giroud is a board signing and that Conte's just not going to do shit with him? Really, is that possible?
I mean, it's possible, but like he's used him in games and he's scored, he's assisted so far since he got there. So, and he seems like a very much team guy. I don't see why he'd have a problem with him, especially.
I mean, he'd rather not play.
Especially
him.
As there are rumors of Morata and Conte not getting along.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see him benching Giroud to spite him while at the same time not getting along with the guy he's playing.
I guess. I mean, that was he did.
Seems a little convoluted.
It is. But he did start Morata this game. But it was the other striker that made the impact on this day, Romelu.
Yes. He never scores against the big teams. Found a nice small team in London to score and assist against. His goal was very fucking well taken. Anthony Martial pass, I think.
Yes, dude, beautiful.
But Mourinho playing McTominay, which is an aggressively average player so far from what I've seen, and is fine. But him and Matic and allowing Pogba to go a little further up the field and be more creative and have space kind of awakened Lukaku. Like in the big games, a lot so far we've seen this season, he's very isolated. And this time it seemed like there was more movement, and I think the Pogba move might have something to do with that.
I like the 3-man midfield that they ran here with Matic and Pogba and
McTominay.
yeah. But I like the formation, I guess.
Yeah, the two of them like double pivot and him like kind of roaming.
But let's be clear, like this was still fantastic Mourinho dribble. Like this was like it was painful at times to watch Man United in this game.
Yeah,
Like,
he basically Mourinho approached it in no different way than how he would any other big game. He wanted to get settled in. The only thing that changed it was when Willian scored, and now Manchester United needed a goal. It got a little frantic for a second, but once they got that tying goal, it was back to parking the bus. There's actually a Twitter picture of, who was it, got subbed in and gave Matic a piece of paper, and they have this thing where he opens it and it's just a big red bus parked in the middle of the grass. And his substitutions late in the game was like Eric Bailey and stuff,
Shut it down.
Big shout to your boy, the guy that looks like a bank robber's mask, Messi Lingard.
Yes, dude.
Wicked header. Nice, wicked cross from Romelu Lukaku.
Lukaku put it in.
He really put it to rest. The Christensen Rudiger back line has not had a good week.
Yeah,
Azpilicueta either.
We had the hypothetical discussion about Man U's Player of the Year because I was suggesting Lingard was in consideration, and you brought up De Gea and his clean sheets. He has 15 clean sheets.
Yeah, man, you don't
That's
mess
ridiculous.
with the G.
The G. Anyway, man, moving on. Like I said, felt like Morata was pretty toothless, man. He hasn't really had he's had a pretty poor run since Boxing Day, man. Not a 7.0 rating since then. So with all that
mostly yes, but that chance that came off the crossbar, for strikers, usually it's like you get 3 or 4 chances. That was a major chance. In terms of like, it affected his confidence, I guess. But I think if we spent so much time talking about Willian hitting the post twice the other day, we can give this guy a little break for hitting the crossbar
for the moment. United,
but yes, he's been shit.
United sit second, and Chelsea fall out of the top 4. That was a major result, man.
Yes.
Now I got something even crazier for you.
Whoa.
United, dude, they beat Chelsea for the second time under Mourinho. They had not won versus Chelsea since 2012. Draws and losses.
Oh, wow.
That's fucking amazing, dude. I was kind of floored by that. Man of the match.
Man of the match. Manchester United's Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a no-brainer. Show up with a goal and an assist. Going to be man of the match against Chelsea for sure.
Not man of the match,
Payback.
Alexis Sanchez. He definitely needed to come off. He definitely doesn't have instructions. I don't know what the fuck he's doing on that team.
Doesn't have instruction.
He does not.
Run around. Do your thing.
Dude, Lukaku, yeah, the goal, but he had 3 shots on target, a key pass. Dude, the guy was nice, but you know why we don't believe in him? He was dispossessed 3 times and he had 5 unsuccessful first touches. That's 8 turnovers, right?
Yes, damn, dude. No doubt. All right, moving on to the other side of the city, man. I wanted to make mention of the Chelsea chant that was picked up by the announcers.
Yes, everybody. There's a lot.
It was what they said, North.
That your city is blue. Your city is blue, just like London.
Just like
your
North
city
London,
is blue.
yeah, just like London.
Yes,
Just like London, your city is blue. Yeah.
Yes.
So Manchester City with an up and down week, and it starts
Down and up.
wherever the fuck Wigan is at. Where is it at? Liverpool?
Wigan.
Is that a city? The witches of Wigan.
Yes.
Motherfuckers. So,
was
as
awesome.
soon as I tuned in, man, and they're like showing the warm-ups, like literally the moment it like came on my screen, it was like, Will Griggs. I wanted to text him and be like, fuck.
Yeah,
He does not play for Wigan.
There was a tweet that said, Man City's on fire. They're going to win 4 cups. And Will Griggs said, here, hold my beer. I've been on fire since 2016.
Hold my beer. Oh, man. But, man, so the game unfolded just as you would think it would. You know, City dominating possession. Wigan compact, playing that championship level defense. You know, just tough.
Yeah.
And then our boy, who has had a slight rebirth, we'll have to say.
Slight rebirth.
Fabian Delph.
He's a midfielder that's playing a good season as a left back. He's not had a slight anything.
He's had a total rebirth. But he's had pretty good season, man.
Yeah.
And, like, he just loses his shit.
Every once in a while, he
stoppage
remembers-
time.
He remembers his Fabian Delph.
Oh, my God, dude.
He dares to Delph
Man.
into the...
He released his Delph.
Yes.
And
it was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, dude. Straight red.
Yeah. Also unlucky, but like very ridiculous.
It was like, you're going to stop this potent Wigan counterattack? I mean...
You wouldn't think the straight red in a game against the championship side that's whole system of survival is to hack the other team. And he's the one that gets the red.
Whoa, dude. So, anyway, man, so he gets sent off. That's at halftime.
Yeah.
And then Pep answers by taking off Sane and putting on Kyle Walker.
Yes, and that was an inspired substitution. Inspired by Monty Python or some other comedic clique like that.
The ghost of City Past, man, came to revisit Pep. And just in accordance with his substitute, yeah. He watches the ball. He plays the ball through. I don't know. It's like a back pass, and he like plays it through, and he just leaves it to our boy.
And jogs, even after he realizes he made a mistake, you know. He's
Before he takes
over
off,
the
yeah.
last season, he's got his salary doubled, so he's been eating more, you know. So you have to check a jog every once in a while, and he decided that was the time. Will Grigg, he's still hungry.
Up to this point,
you saw
though,
that boy sprinting slowly. That's so awesome watching championship players sprint slowly.
so man, but he made the right move. Like he went away from him.
Yeah.
Like instead of just running straight on, like he moved like took 2 dribbles away from him, and he was.
Yeah, man, that's the veteran guy that you have to know your angles to get by the physically better players than you. And it was an awesome sight to see. I just wish it had happened for Ireland so that there would be more people chanting.
Either way, man, what's crazy, not even that crazy, but down to 10 men, the City had more shots on goal, dominated more possession in the second half. They just could not break through, man. I think of their extremely, I think they had like 25 shots and like 17 were blocks. Straight contact.
They're playing into traffic, and also like lately, upcoming game aside, City, the Champions League game was spectacular, but in the league they've been dropping a little points. They've been looking a little slower, and Wigan has beaten them before. They have this confidence about them. It was just time.
Yeah, I mean,
You can't win
you
everything.
can't win everything, man. And so their quest for the quadruple ends unrealistic. But they show up on Sunday and
I
they
think
smile
they-
and relish the fact that they're not playing Wigan. They're playing. We're just playing Arsenal for a cup.
Yeah, I think that the League Cup, if you win it, it should count as half. Like you can't be like, we had a treble year with the league. It's like we had 2.5 last year.
Yeah, it does not count as a treble. in my
Can't be a
book.
full.
It is not a treble time.
Yeah,
like
right?
if they win Champions League and Premier League, like that is not
I
a
think,
treble, son.
you know, when Manchester United had their treble in '99,
Yeah.
a year later Liverpool had the treble. They won the League Cup, the FA Cup, and at the time Europa, which was the UEFA Cup.
Like a mini treble.
A loser's treble.
A loser's treble. Similar to Mourinho last year. But
His is even like
Even
1.5.
worse.
'cause
Even worse because it's like Community Shield.
they're fucking friendly. He's gonna be like next year. He's gonna talk about how he won the Tour of America in the summer.
So either way though, man, both teams fielded strong teams, and City just took it to them. It wasn't like stat wise, it wasn't as dominating as the Wigan performance, but like,
Yeah,
Arsenal was really never in this game.
they were never really very much into this game. Arsenal had a team put out that, don't want to call it offensive, I don't want to call it defensive. It just, there was a blah team that didn't have a real idea, and you can't go up against this team. Like, the first thing you have to do when you're playing against City or any team of that caliber is know exactly what you want to do, and then try to execute that. You can't just pick a team and they're kind of, oh, if I get past my guy, I'll maybe make a pass. Or like, they didn't have, did you see how they played?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whereas like City, even with all, like at the end of the game, everybody's like, oh, petrodollars, and he got money from this. No, like, they're drilled. Like, they understand where the pass is, where the run is. Like,
Yep.
that's the part I don't understand. At least that's why Wigan upset them, because they were also well placed, well trained, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Arsene Wenger has to go. He's outdated.
The announcer just was all over Arsene. After they scored and went up 2-0 on a wonderful company goal, may I add. Dude said, he's like, well, what? He's like, why isn't Wenger putting a substitute in? What is he doing? He's just standing there with his hands in his pockets, and that's not going to get the job done.
So true. And that's what we've always wondered. Like, before, if you start for a Wenger team, you are playing at least an hour of football. I don't care if you have a bicycle kick on goal with a red card in it. You're gonna fucking play 60 minutes.
On goal and a red card.
I'm serious, man. The guy be like, no, you gotta play 60.
He brings on Welbeck and, was it Elneny? Not Elneny.
Elneny.
Yeah.
No, Elneny did not come on.
Iwobi.
Iwobi, yes.
Yeah, Iwobi.
Which, like, when you look at the midfield, was he basically had Ramsey in an island, surrounded, like, they had Chambers, Mustafi, Koscielny, Bellerin, Monreal. These are all defenders. I don't care what you call the formation, these are defenders. So you have 5 defenders, Granit Xhaka, who does nothing well, and you have Ramsey, who's just coming back from injury. This against the team that has been sweeping motherfuckers aside all the season.
Shit.
Up front you have Ozil and Wilshere making passes to Aubameyang. Like, why is he the only, like, this would be a game you want to play Welbeck, so you need somebody else to run with him. Like, it was ridiculous. He had one shot. They all only had one shot.
Yeah, man. It was bad.
Their highest rated player on Arsenal, which I don't even know how, was Granit Xhaka with a 6.9, and that would have had him tied for 9th highest on the Man City team.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, dude. City being carried by the old guard, Aguero, Company, and Silva. Silva's goal was pretty vicious. He spun off that dude. Nasty.
Dude, they put in Danilo, and he's just like dominating. Like, you have to identify one fucking weakness and go after it. Like, you're just getting dominated across the fucking field.
Yeah.
Everybody was better than you.
All right, so we're on a broken...
That's bad coaching.
Yep, we're on a broken record moment regarding Arsenal. Not criticizing you, just saying same shit over and over. So,
yeah, I'm just talking in regards to this game, though, like the stats about this game.
I agree.
It's a current issue in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Definitely not critiquing. Man of the match.
David Silva.
Hell yeah. Ball. 93% passing and a goal. Ball.
When he's on, like... I mean, yeah, decent stats, whatever, but it's not about the stats. Like him and Iniesta and stuff. Like, the team ticks, and like they looked very dangerous. It was just beautiful.
Shout out to Aguero for the chip in. Yeah.
League Cup champion.
League Cup. Yeah. All right, man. Moving on. We're gonna go to Italy. Step over to Roma hosting AC Milan. AC Milan on a wonderful run lately, and they continue it with a 2-0 over Roma.
Yes, AC Milan. Rino Gattuso's appointment is looking more and more inspired by the week. They were doing their thing. That being said, first half of this game, Roma looked much better than AC Milan.
Real
And
quick,
over the course of the game also, but go ahead.
before we move on, Gattuso. Have we covered him on the show before?
How Ibrahimovic tossed him in a trash can, how he slapped people, like stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, we have, right?
Of course we have.
All right, just making sure.
At least 4 times.
Okay, cool. Moving along. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Roma, as the home team should, especially in the first half, really took it to AC Milan, and AC Milan looked kind of scattered all over the place. But a halftime team speech by Gennaro Gattuso. Did you see
You're just showing off your pronunciation skills, man.
Dude, you gotta respect Gennaro Gattuso. Have you seen how many people he slapped? You better pronounce that shit right.
I won't be pronouncing shit.
Okay. Yeah, I better hope you don't get famous. He has a press conference. I just tweeted it of Diving for Glory over the weekend, and they asked him something, I don't know, and his response is, sometimes he's good, sometimes he's good shit.
Yes, I love him, dude.
But
Go ahead, man.
he puts the team like in shape. They're 4-3-3. Like they're both playing 4-3-3. But Roma just came off of their travels to Ukraine, so they were rotated. Dzeko was on the bench. El Shaarawy was on the bench, and the Undertaker. Cengiz Under for Roma. You heard about the Undertaker, the 19-year-old Turkish kid I talked to you about a few weeks ago? He's been on a tear.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't do good in this game.
Oh man, so AC
Sometimes
look,
it's shit.
AC looking kind of ruthless lately.
Yes.
Who's been showing out for them?
Everybody. That's the surprising part. But Cotrone up front, Patrick Cotrone, he's been up out of the academy, and he's been really scoring, banging them in. Suso on the wing is really breaking down people. He's like the guy that I would say is valued the most on the track if he was going to be on the market. The midfield of Kessie and Biglia and Bonaventura, the three of them, especially in the second half, I don't know which Roma player it was. Oh, Nangolan broke his tooth in a collision with Kessie.
Damn.
So if you've seen Frank Kessie, you'll understand why. That guy is not a guy you want to collusion with.
To your point about AC really showing out in the second half, I mean, they had more possession in the first half, but had one shot. In the second half, they had 40% possession, but they had 9 shots with 5 on target.
Yeah, they were playing very vertically. Like, they were trying to get at them whenever they could. If you look at the shots, like you said, 18 Roma had with only 3 on target. So that shows you also, like, Roma had terrible finishing. Don't get me wrong, the forward line was atrocious. But the defense has to be a certain level of organized, and Rino Gattuso, I think that's what he's bringing to the team, is a compact, solid defensive team, and allowing the guys up front to do it.
And Bonucci playing center back more and more frequently. Playing well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Played center back well. Playing him and Romagnoli with Calabria and Rodriguez on the outside is coming together. He's beginning to understand the position and be his dominant self, but more so Biglia and Kessie in front of them are very defensive midfielder. So he's giving them protection.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Nice. AC. This was a pretty tough loss for Roma. They are 5th place, 1 point back of Inter for 4th for a Champions League spot. And they're still 6 up on Sampdoria. But Milan make ground up here, man. They are sitting 7th with 44 points, so they're only 7 points off Europe. What do you think those odds are?
I think that those odds are not just Milan, but Milan and Sampdoria will come closer to these teams before it goes further, because
Inter and
both
Lazio.
Inter and Lazio. Inter and Roma.
Okay, well, Roma's 5th. I was thinking Champions League.
Oh.
4th. Yeah. Third is Lazio, and 4th is Inter.
In
Milan
relation
is-
to,
do you think they could creep on the Champions League spot?
they can creep on it. I don't know if they make it. I think unless Inter keeps falling, which they have been, I don't think that AC Milan is going to pick up points at the pace that's required for the Champions League, but I think definitely a Europa spot will be available for them.
Okay, no doubt. Pretty cool match. Who was your man of the match?
Patrick Cotrone. Goal scorer, he's having a good season. He had to, like Nikola Kalinic is on the bench, like he had to remove established stars that they actually bought to start, and he's making it count, scored the opening goal in a big game. I like him.
No doubt. Patrick Cotrone, man of the match. That is our back four is done, wrapped up. Our main game section. Let's go. Midfield. EPL roundup. All right, man. Saturday gets started. Leicester Stoke 1-1. This is
Shit game. Atrocious game. Like when you think
And
Leicester Stoke,
Leicester
what
gets
do you think
saved.
it is?
And you would, yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
It's not even that. Like when you think Leicester Stoke, you're thinking Leicester's hosting Stoke. Leicester's gonna take it to them, and Stoke might steal it, but like they're not gonna be the team that's entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Stoke was fucking rocking them. Like they had them on the ropes.
Leicester gets bailed out by an own goal.
Yeah, by a guy called Butland.
Jack Butland.
Yes.
Yeah, who even with an own goal scored an 8. He was the goalie for Stoke.
They have
they
Mahrez
peppered him.
and they have Vardy, so they're gonna pepper you.
Yeah.
But Stoke deserved the 3 points, like over the course of it.
What is-
Away, what's his name? Xherdan Shaqiri from Joe Allen was a nice goal, but shit teams drop points.
No doubt. Speaking of shit teams, West Brom versus Huddersfield, and West Brom loses this 2-1. They are going down. Straight up.
Yes. They fired the guy that's specialty is saving you from these kind of situations. So, and then they moved to what? Alan Pardew?
You shit on him every time we bring them up.
I mean, I think one of the more respected relegation specialists who's never actually managed to get relegated, and you replace him with a fucking dolt. Fucking twat.
That's dope. Moving on to more relegation battles. Bournemouth hosting Newcastle. Newcastle gives up a 2-0 advantage and gives up an 80th and an 89th minute goal for the draw.
Yes. But the bigger issue with Newcastle over the course of the season is they do not take shots. They do not have shots on target. They are worse in the league in that. And if the other team knows you're not going to shoot at them, they will not be afraid of even being 2-0 down. Newcastle is the Alex Smith of fucking teams. Can't break away.
Ooh, said the Alex Smith. Wow. Word up. Brighton smashed the Swans 4-1.
Even the Swansea goal was an own goal. Brighton won 5-0.
Yep. Liverpool also smashes West Ham 4-1. Everybody does their thing in this game.
Yes, full front line scores. Emre Can scores. Savor his goals, guys. He's gonna be in Juventus next season.
Yeah, he's gonna be nice for them.
Who? For Juve?
Yes.
Yes.
Chan. Be really nice. Could
Yes,
be faster
he
than
can.
everybody.
I know. he's still fucking slow as shit.
Burnley Southie.
Southie.
1-1.
Boston Premier League?
Yeah, 1-1, man.
Yeah.
Burnley just cannot win a game, dude. They are 9-10-9 now. They were 9-4-4. I keep bringing that up, but I just find it like, damn.
Yeah.
But they're still in 7th place.
There's an island out there, man. Especially with the next score you're gonna fucking mention is gonna make sure we understand why it's an island, and that is?
Watford fucking beating Everton 1-0?
Yes, keeping
Good
seventh,
Lord.
the gap of 7th intact.
When I saw that score, like I just looked at that today, I was like, I just knew Everton at least got a point.
Troy Deeney's specialty is quickly finding these teams with a lot of guys that think they're like cute and shit and bullying them. Arsenal, Everton.
Troy Deeney. Slapping fools. Sunday, it gets cracking with Crystal Palace hosting Tottenham. And Crystal Palace
Put on a fucking solid display.
but they still got Kane.
Yes. So late, but it happened. You're gonna get caned at some point, boys. And sad, because, like, they had that one streak, but it seems Crystal Palace, the water has dried out a little bit, because they are back to right above relegation.
Yep. So, hell, let's talk about relegation first.
Before we go, one
Yeah.
second.
Yep.
Tottenham is the only team that is undefeated in their last 6 games in the Premier League right now. They have 3 wins and 3 draws in that time. Only team.
Oh, man, they've been on a nice run when you consider their cup stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. You throw that in and it's even more impressive. But, like, in the league, I was looking at the comparisons, and they're the only team that hasn't lost in the last 6 games.
Nice. Well, let's just do top 4 then. Because that moves Tottenham to 4th place. 2 points behind 3rd place Liverpool, who are 2 points behind 2nd place Manchester United. And we know City is top with the game in hand by 13 points above United. Chelsea sit 5th, Arsenal sit lonely 6th, and relegation battle is clearly West Brom with 20, Stoke with 26, and then the Swans, Crystal Palace, and Southampton are all tied with 27 points, but the Swans are in the zone on goal difference. Any changes for you, man? It could be anybody. West Brom is definitely
going down. I think the Swansea new manager syndrome is ending, so I'm very skeptical about that. And I think Stoke might go, dude.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah, like Stoke has deserved to be relegated for a few seasons. I don't know if I think, but I hope they go.
No doubt. Just one quick mention of the Golden Boot race. Kane with 24 goals, Salah with 23, and Aguero with 21. Still find that fascinating. Just
the impressive thing about Salah and that is that he's the only one that's not a target man. He comes from further away from the goal. The other 2 are strikers.
Nice. KDB leading the league with 14 assists. And that is your EPL roundup. We're going to move on to La Liga. Some interesting results over here, but it did not start Friday with the Deportivo Español 0-0 draw. Deportivo could have used those points.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
But midweek, Real Madrid won at Leganes 3-1 in their makeup game. Before
that's right. They finally got that game in hand. They finally got that game in hand.
Absolutely. Understandable that you forgot about it.
Erase that from my memory, totally.
It's from like in December.
Hell yeah. So Saturday morning, wake up to straight beauty from Barcelona. They're hosting Girona, and they just rocked them.
Girona started off the game with an absolute peach of a goal. The defense was not doing good, and Barca, Samuel Titi has questions to answer. But the guy took the ball, hit it off near post, then far post before it went in. It was an absolute beauty. And the most beautiful part about it is it accomplished waking up Barcelona.
Yeah.
After which they went and just...
Suarez with the hat trick, Messi with the brace, and Coutinho added one himself. 6-1 Barcelona. Demolition.
And Messi with 2 end assists, in Coutinho with a beautiful assist, and Dembele comes in the second half, comes through and has an assist. It was a good game.
Dembele looked strong in this game.
Another game where Mr. Paulinho had to sit out, and they actually looked good. Coutinho and Dembele started looking better later in the game. The first half, they were both a little...
Yep. A little shaky.
Yeah.
Like they just weren't in rhythm.
It's gonna take time, is what it's hard to learn in this level, but it's gonna fucking take time.
For sure.
Girona going up Barca like that, not smart.
The true Catalan derby. Celta, that was, but not this game. The next game, Celta Vigo hosting Eibar 2-0.
Yeah, Celta back on. If their offense scores, they usually waste it, but this time instead of a 2-2 or a 3-2, they get their 2-0. The third best offense in the league.
Yep. Real Madrid continue their relatively fine form lately. 4-0 smashing of Alaves. Ronaldo with the brace.
Yes. Ronaldo is hitting the back of the net with consistency again.
And Real Madrid is winning. It's
yes.
like no
I think
coincidence.
Benzema, the coach, is going to die supporting him, the fucking Algerian connection, but he's going to have to make way soon. He's looking like a fucking fat fuck out there.
Leganes hosting Las Palmas. 0-0. 0-0.
Ferro.
So that's exactly how we got this round started. That's how that round almost ended until Villarreal on Sunday, hosting Getafe, scored and took a 1-0 victory. That's pretty big for Villarreal. Needed to keep pace. Needed to keep that 6th place.
Yes.
That pressure.
A complete necessity. They've been free-falling, including in the Europa Cup, which they cannot free-fall anymore at. We'll get to that later.
Yep. Bilbao with the 2-1 victory over relegation-bound Malaga.
Yes. Bilbao will make work of these guys at home. That place is a fortress.
For sure. Valencia with a pretty impressive win over Sociedad at home, 2-1.
Sociedad has been hitting a bit of a...
It's like an up and down thing, man.
That's how they seem to be.
They'll like rock somebody and then they come back and do this.
They have the talent and I don't know. I think it's just such a cool ass place to live. It's by the water in the Basque region. And just you chill. I was reading this article about Carlos Vela, the Mexican player that used to play for them.
Yeah.
And how his passion is really not football. He considers it a job, but he loved living there.
Hell yeah. I already know. So the week, the Sunday ends with Sevilla getting their ass handed to them by Atleti, 5-2. Griezmann with the hat trick.
Ever since Diego came, Griezmann has been balling. He actually started slightly before he came, but even Diego Simeone mentioned, he was like, yeah, Griezmann is in a good run of form. He started off the season wrong. I think he was just partying too hard in the summer. And you can tell in the team, that's what Cholo said. You can tell when Griezmann is off, the whole team is kind of off.
Yep.
Interesting side business that they quietly sold Yannick Carrasco to China for 30 million euros.
That was quiet. Damn, for real?
Yeah.
Nice.
For the last week.
Make some money, make some paper.
Hey, get it.
Word up. Atleti, that's a huge win. They keep pace with Barcelona. Levante hosting Real Betis, probably as we speak. Top 4, Barcelona, 65 points, 7 points up on Atleti, who are 7 points up on Real Madrid, who are 2 points up on Valencia. Everybody even on games now?
Duh.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, there's games coming up today.
There is games coming up. They play midweek games in La Liga this week.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. La Pichichi. Messi, 22. Suarez, 20. Aspas with 16. And Messi also leads the league in assists with 12.
Yeah.
Baller.
Would have more if he didn't score most of those chances.
More assists.
Mm-hmm.
Word up. We're gonna move on. Hit you with the Europa League roundup. This is a brutal competition to me, man, because they play like 1 week, like they get a month in between this round.
Yeah,
Champions
I
League.
like it. There's not they don't adjust it for you. You want to be treated well, be better. Go to the Champions League.
Be better, right?
Yeah, like, this is what you get, and it's nice. It's like trial by fire every fucking week. You'll
Hell
be like,
yeah.
oh, this team sucks. Yeah, well, their fan club is a group of ex-army warlords or some shit like that.
Warlord.
I'm serious. You go to like Romania and shit. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do, man? You're gonna get fucked up. Don't care how bad the team is.
So, all right, man. Some interesting results from around Europa. Atalanta, BVB. That's Dortmund, if you didn't know. That 1-1 draw, so that puts Dortmund through. I just wanted to shout out Italy and say, fuck you. Your punk-ass racist chants.
Yes, first of all that, but like before we get there, BVB was pretty much out of that competition. Like that, it was an 87th minute goal. They would have been dumped on if they hadn't got that tie.
But yet they did. And
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the 87th finish, like for most of the game, they were kind of out of it, and that was impressed me.
Word up. That's right. It was 3-2 the first leg. Right?
Yes.
Yep. All right. Nice crashes out. They lose the 1-0 to Lokomotiv. Kind of surprised by that, but not really.
Actually, if it was 3-2 first leg, I was wrong about the 87th minute goal. Was just a goal.
I think it was just a random goal. Dortmund proceeded.
We will check and get back to you for next week, people.
Yeah. Okay. Salzburg Sociedad, man. That was interesting. Now that was Salzburg winning that 2-1 as we just hyped up Sociedad, and they're again up and down. And this was a down moment. Salzburg through.
Yeah.
74th minute goal by Valon Berisha for Salzburg sealed that.
Salzburg on to the next.
Red Bull Salzburg, if you didn't know. And Red Bull Leipzig advances past Napoli, even though they lost 2-0.
Yes, Napoli needed a third. They didn't even put out their main squad because they thought they were gonna basically be getting bounced. They got the 2-0, tried to make some moves, but RB goes through. Said Naby Keita didn't play in this game. I think Timo Forsberg started. Timo Werner started. Emin Forsberg was on the bench.
Gotcha.
That's the big three, so I have to keep track of who played for RB.
Yep. So Red Bull gets two teams that advance. Lyon moved through with a 1-0 victory over Villarreal.
As away, Villarreal got a very unlucky red card, but the goal had nothing to do with it. Lyon looked better even in this game. Villarreal, I don't know, something's wrong. Like you said, they won this weekend, but they need to fix things. Not looking good.
Yep. So quick recap of everything else. The romps from the first leg were closed out by Athletic Bilbao, Marseille, Atleti, Arsenal, and AC Milan all move on to the next round. And for the rest of the results in Europa, Sporting CP advanced, Dynamo Kiev advanced, Zenit come from behind to beat Celtic 3-0, and Lazio turn around a 1-0 loss in the first leg and beat FCSB 5-1. Immobile with the hat trick.
Yep. Chiro doing his thing. Sets them up for a trip to Ukraine.
All right. So the next round looks like this. Premier matchup has to be AC Milan Arsenal, I guess.
I don't know. A lot of these games look just as intriguing if you toss out the name. Because Marseille Bilbao, I think, is a very good matchup.
Absolutely.
CSK Moscow Lyon, I think, is an excellent matchup.
Salzburg Dortmund.
Also.
Yep. Atletico.
Don't know a lot about Salzburg.
Atletico Lokomotiv and Sporting CP play Pilsen.
Pleasant. Victoria Pleasant.
Victoria Pleasant.
And Sporting CP, as you call them, or generally Sporting Lisbon.
Oh, yeah. Dynamo Kiev play Lazio.
Yes, that's I think it's very, very even matchups. The AC Milan Arsenal game on name recognition stands out, but like if you look at football played, or not just even this season, but the past couple of seasons, there's a lot of teams here that I would rate higher than AC Milan and Arsenal.
Okay, yeah, no doubt. Which game would you pick if you had to pick one?
If I had to pick one, I would pick probably CSK Lyon.
They'll actually play for it too, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of like a sexy football team like Lyon going to Russia and scrapping it out a little bit. The clash of styles, you know?
No doubt. Look forward to that. Something to do on your Thursday afternoon. If you're obsessed.
While I'm busy talking shit to my Arsenal friends. Hey, it's your day. Welcome.
Yay, Thursday, your new day. But we're gonna move on to Tuesday and Wednesday games, man. Champions League roundup. We covered Barcelona, Chelsea already, so let's go ahead and cover the other three games. We'll very briefly mention Bayern smashing Besiktas 5-0, Besiktas got a red card in the 18th minute,
Vida.
and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, they shot a shitload. I think the shots were like 33-6 or something. Like, they just completely took over. You don't play against Bayern Munich with 10 men in the Champions League when the lights are on.
Nope. So
Lewandowski double, Thomas Muller double, even Kingsley Coman, who never ever scores, had a goal.
So 5-0 smashing by Bayern basically puts them through to the next round, even with a trip to Turkey, right?
Yeah.
Ahead, I doubt they're going to lose 5-0. Another interesting result, actually a very interesting result, Shakhtar hosting Roma, and they come away victorious, man, 2-1, even though this game seemed pretty even.
Yeah, this is a game to qualify to be the team everybody wants to play in the next round.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
Roma took a lead, took it through the Undertaker, and it was a nice goal, but second half, the Roma defense looked shit. They came apart, and then goals by Ferreira and the man Fred with a wicked free kick that might have actually brought the Roma goalkeeper Alisson's transfer market value down a little bit, but he fucking completely rocked him.
Fred is totally on the Manchester City radar. Yeah.
On United also.
Yeah. Fuck United. Sorry. Anyway, see it, City, sir. Yeah, moving Shakhtar, big win. Even though they did give up one away goal, so that's still wide open. The other main interesting result outside of Barcelona and Chelsea, you'd have to say would be the Sevilla Man United game at Sevilla. 0-0 draw, but there was a lot to talk about.
Yes, Man United set up the same way they did against Chelsea, except with a team that had a clear attacking mind, and like they went after Manchester United, who looked, sometimes when you're playing defense, you look defensive and it's like impressive. They look like they had no fucking idea. I don't give a fuck if it's 0-0 or what. They were chasing shadows.
Yeah, Sevilla should have came away with a goal or two in this game for sure.
That's ridiculous. 25 shots to 6. Sevilla had more shots on target than Manchester United had shots.
I mean, you need an away goal. Like, that's so crucial, Man United. Damn. How did you come? I mean, did they sit back the whole game?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't sit back. They were playing defense. They were scrambling.
That's what I wanted to hear you say. Yeah.
Sevilla was knocking the ball around, and the funny thing is, who was it that was talking about Matic or something? And they said, I have a high regard for Mourinho. He's like, Ever Banega is a good player, and he didn't have a great game today because with McTominay and Matic shut him down. And like the guy was picking the ball around, and the funny thing is, he was right. He did not have a good game. And they still had 26 shots to your 6.
Yeah.
And
dude,
corners, 12-4. That's not sitting back and having a good defense. He gave up 12 corners. That's a terrible idea. They got dispossessed in offense 13 times to Sevilla's 6. 13 possessions. That they just got shitted on. Like it was just a bad performance. That the fact that Sevilla not scoring, he put lipstick on a pig, and he's talking about the performance. But it's more important to get a home draw and score an away goal than to hold a team at home to scoreless 0-0. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
You accomplished nothing.
Exactly. So they looked super vulnerable for the next leg. You give up. I mean, you're up 1-0, 86 minute, and you give up an equalizer. You're toast.
Dude, the G needs a raise just for that game. He had more saves than United had shots.
He needs a flight right on over to Madrid.
Oh yeah. He would be he would get shades and shit if he went to Madrid, because he'd get shot. Like, he gets so many shots taken against him. Like, elite goalkeepers don't see those many shots.
Yeah.
That's why it's a fucking farce that Mourinho's little defensive specialist, like David De Gea, is playing out of his skin and covering your ass, but the teams are getting a lot of opportunities against them.
Yeah. There it is. So how do you see that? How do you like that next round? Actually, we're going to talk about that next week when we do a preview.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Things will change. But I just find it fascinating to see the midweek games between three. You know, when you talk about Sevilla, you talk about United, you talk about Chelsea, hell, even Barcelona. Like all four of those teams were like two starkly different teams in the two games they played this week. United was just completely useless in one game, and then they just, you know, they looked useless, but they came away. I mean, came away tactically with that victory. That was huge. Similar to what Chelsea did. Huge tactical, even if though it was a draw, and then they came away with the tough loss to United.
Yeah, I agree with you on the tactics. And also, though, like, your opponent not performing, sometimes we give too much credit for, like, Manchester United, they got it tactically right, blah, but it was more Chelsea just put out a bad team, so they got, like, Manchester United could have got beaten by Chelsea. It's just they shit the bed. And Chelsea, they could have actually beaten Barca and held them if they had thought, like, Chelsea played the wrong team in 2 games. They should have taken out Fabregas and had Drinkwater against Barca. And on the other side, they should have had Fabregas play against Manchester United.
Conte, you're fucking up.
Fucking Conte.
You're fucking up, man. Word up. All right. Well, damn. That is Champions League, man. I can't wait. So there's no games this coming week. It's one more week before we get the return leg. So look for the preview next week. Moving along. Midfield done. Forwards up. Dude of the week. We had some debate over this.
Yes, indeed.
Who you got?
I suggested we give it to Willian because very rarely do you see anybody score against both Barcelona and Manchester United in the space of 4 or 5 days. So I thought that was a nice week. I know the counter is like the results, but going into the Barca game, nobody thought that they'd even get the time. They were supposed to lose that game. Yeah. So, but he did his part. He balled out in both games, looked really good, and I think he deserves it.
And I have to say, man, I have to acquiesce after I gave it some more thought. I really thought Lukaku, you know, for as much shit as we talk about him not scoring against the top 6, for him to show up with an assist and a goal against a direct positional rival in Chelsea, his former team. I thought that was huge, but, you know, after really examining the Sevilla loss, like, I just can't, dude did not have 2 great games. He had 1 great game.
Yeah, whereas Willian repped on both games.
Both games. Killed. Served.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, Willian, dude of the week. Word up.
Cool.
Goal of the week goes to...
There are some nice contenders. Messi free kick under the wall. Fred free kick over and around the wall. But Antoine Griezmann's the second goal for the game, his first goal was spectacular. He dribbled past a couple of guys, shot it. I gotta give it to Antoine Griezmann, which it looked like a further version of Messi's other goal that he scored in the 6-1 game.
Tony G, goal of the week.
Yes, he's leading the team, so he gotta get some credit.
So our twat happen moment comes in Krautland.
Yes.
Also known as Saxony.
Where new money themselves, RB Red Bull Leipzig, hosted the team who had to fire their coach because they had like 0 wins and only had 3 points when he left. Cologne, who, funnily enough, the coach has gone on to Borussia Dortmund to actually kill it. But Cologne, RB took a 5th minute. Jean-Kevin Augustin scores. And they already had hit the post by then, Ademola Lookman. But shit went south.
Which happens. It happens.
Another heavily rotated team, but it doesn't matter. In the second half, Cologne hit him up for 2 goals.
Now, to put that in perspective, man, Cologne is in last place. They're in last place. I mean, they're
settled in last place.
Yeah, they're 8 points off of safety. And that is not looking bright. So I just find it fascinating. A team comes out like that. They really have not much to play for. They're away to a much richer, more powerful team. And, like, shout out to the coach, man.
speaking of the coach, on the 60th minute he brings on Leonardo Bittencourt.
Oh, you mean the guy who scored the game winner?
Yes, that guy. In
Yeah.
the 70th minute, Cogiello scores, and then in the 77th, Bittencourt scores. So the coach, big up to him, like you said, because his actual substitution had very big impact on the game.
Stefan Ruthenbeck was ruthless with his management of this game. Go ahead, son.
Yes. Big up Cologne.
Yeah, twa happen, RB. If up.
Yes. I'm just happy that it's not fucking Will Griggs that was the what happened moment.
We gave that motherfucker enough shine. Moving along, man. Moving along. Upcoming games. All right, man. La Liga, don't forget, like we said, midweek games. Espanyol hosting Real Madrid tomorrow and on Tuesday, and Las Palmas hosting Barcelona on Thursday. But then Real turned that around and they host Getafe on Saturday, and Barcelona with the big match of the weekend hosting Atletico Madrid.
Yes, it's bunch of big matches this weekend. It's at the same time as the the Chelsea game.
It is, but man, it's going down. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, first, second place, 7 points. That's huge in the La Liga race. Gigantic game.
Absolutely. It's
Cannot
going to be a
wait.
lot of fun.
Cannot
Both
wait.
teams are in good form.
Yay. There's a few other interesting games positionally: Villarreal, Girona, Sevilla, Bilbao, Valencia, Betis. Nice little run of La Liga games this week. EPL though has two big games this week because their league game, and I was wrong about that last week, their league game got built to, or the league game between Arsenal and City was not on Sunday, it was on Thursday.
Yes.
And they are playing, and then they turn around 4 days later and play host Chelsea. Manchester City host Chelsea.
There we go. Manchester City, Chelsea, I think is a half hour difference in kickoff to Barca Atleti. Let's go to a bar, people.
Yeah, looking good. League One, Monaco hosting Bordeaux on Friday. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Okay, why?
I mean, it's League One game, Monaco, man. Be a fun game. You get to see Malcolm run around a little bit. It's a Friday game. What else are you gonna watch?
I don't know.
Looking at this as an obsession, sir. If you're obsessed, you're gonna watch this game.
I'm not saying I'm gonna watch it. I'm just not gonna mention it as one of the premier games to watch over there.
Man, I'm trying to get a Friday game in there, man.
Okay, there you go.
Serie A.
There you go.
It's the only game on Friday. Serie A, Napoli hosting Roma, Lazio hosting Juventus, and AC Milan hosting Inter in the Milan Derby. That's a lot of big games.
Now, after mentioning all these games, when we look back at that Bordeaux Monaco game,
Friday, man.
Barca
Friday.
Atletico,
You got games on Thursday. You got games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm trying to give the full picture here, man. Obsession. Let's go. But those are huge games in Serie A. The Napoli Juventus race, man, tight like Nat booty. I love it.
Yeah.
And I hope it stays close like this the rest of the year. I don't want either one of them to pull away.
Yeah. I think it will.
Juventus?
No, I think it will stay close the rest of the way.
Good. Word up. Bundesliga representing with RB hosting Dortmund.
Yes. Big game.
Big game. Especially considering they're only 2 points apart. Dortmund have a game in hand at the moment. Also want to mention Cup Life. PSG hosting Marseille again. Coupe de France. Coppa Italia semis, Juventus and Atalanta second leg. And Lazio AC first, 0-0 first leg. That's
looking
a lot.
like we're going to get a
lot of
Juventus AC
football,
Milan Coppa Italia final, and that's always contentious. I hope that happens.
Man, that's a lot of football. And throw in on that cherry on top, FA Cup replays. Sheffield Wednesday hosting Swans, Tottenham hosting Rochdale. Man, that's the fucking match, son. It's in the books. Diving for Glory, episode 28. Let's get it. As always, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate anyone who takes the time to check us out. Don't forget, Diving for Glory posts every Tuesday on iTunes and divingforglory.com. Now you can also find us on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Diving for Glory and Facebook as well. Follow it, hashtag it, get at us. Till next week. Corciola, Solomon.
We out.
One.
Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.